There is a difference between you and me. We both looked into the abyss. But when it looked back at us, you blinked.
Hi guys, I'm Greg here, and this is a DC Legends video. Actually, this is Riddle Me This. Now, let me go ahead and start off and say this from the beginning. I don't like doing these videos this way. I usually have Dr. Zabaro with me at least, and then maybe somebody else, because in this video, in this series or whatever, I try to answer questions about what you ask about DC Legends. So I like having other opinions there, so it's not just me, because all of this stuff, a lot of stuff can be largely subjective. So I'm doing this now because last week, my work schedule's been so busy. Last week I didn't even do one. I haven't had a chance to get Dr. Zabaro on the phone because I'm in Switzerland. He's in Ohio. I keep asking him. I know it's Midwest. I'm pretty sure it's Ohio. But anyway, he's in Ohio, so it's hard for us to get our schedules together when I have such a crazy work schedule, and it's been a crazy work schedule. So in the wise words of a great American poet, Timberland, it's been a long time. I shouldn't have left you without a dope beat to step two, step two, step two, step two, step two, step two. Ficky, ficky, ficky. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go over just a couple of questions really quickly, and then hopefully next week I do have some time off. Woo! I can make a lot of content next week. Including one, there was a comment that I'm not going to read because he requested something specific. And so I've been saying I was going to do this for a long time. And instead of doing it like a series, I'm just going to sit down and hammer this thing out into like a 1-2 hour video, leave some markers in there, so that you can see what minute does what topic or whatever. And then I'm going to do it that way instead. So be on the lookout for a 1 hour, 2 hour video where it's just a surprise, but it should be useful to a lot of you. Anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and get into some of these questions. And then actually let me go ahead, because what I've been doing, I've never really done this before, is that I have been basically quote unquote fishing, but fishing for bosses. But what I typically do, and this goes to a raid question, but I'll go ahead and answer it now. What I'll typically do is I will get the Head Start packs. That's the only time I spend money on the game. Like, I've kind of whittled it down to that because I think they're great value, and it's also going to help me and my alliance, and you get a bunch of resources for it. So I'm just going to run this right now for a little bit and answer these questions. But what I've done is kind of an experiment. I've never done this before, where I've done all of the nodes on all of the chapters in Heroic in one day. And I'm curious how many alliance points I'll get when I do that. Plus, I felt kind of guilty because last Friday I completely forgot about doing any points for my alliance. I just focused on, there was something going on last. Shows how important it was. I was so focused on it, I can't even remember what it is. But there was something else that I was focused on. I forgot that it was a Friday, and then I didn't give any alliance points. I felt terrible. So now I'm giving like a lot. So we'll see after this. Actually, I'll answer a couple questions and see how many. And this is me fishing as well at the same time. We'll see how many alliance points I've gotten to that point. I'm on chapter 7 now. Anyway, so first question. This is from Adam Ellis. What's up, Adam? So disease on one toon affects the entire team. I keep wondering what the difference between disease and bleed is, although I love running both together, Rouse, Chemo, and Siren. Also, and then he goes into the blood boiling about this as well. This was on the disease versus nightmare campaign video that I did, where I was like, I think that disease is going to be useful in nightmare campaign, and it was a great deal. And there is a review video I'm going to do for the new tunes coming out. I'm going to do that video probably tomorrow as a special report, just because, or maybe Monday. Maybe I'll release it on Monday instead. In any case, let's go ahead and keep going. In any case, yes, disease does affect an entire team. The difference between disease, and the reason why I was using disease and nightmare campaign, was because disease is one of those long play buffs. Bleed, I mean, it can be effective if you get a lot of them, like in the very beginning. But disease and bleeds are more long-term debuffs in my view, where it's like you put these on a toon with the idea that they're going to be chipped away, whether it's like 10% or 20%, 50%, whatever, off of their health. as you continue to fight. And it helps you kind of punch a little bit above your weight class if you can protect yourself well enough, be tanky enough, stun. That was one thing that I needed to try in Nightmare Campaign, was stun along with the disease. I didn't really do that well enough. But if you can stun and disease and like kind of help with survival, if the match goes longer, then disease can be very, very effective, because one person with disease affects the entire team. And for example, Man-Bat, he gives extra disease when there's a taunter or someone who's invisible. So it actually can stack up a lot, especially if you have Roz running with it. Chemo and Captain Atom, they never gave enough. They gave like 1, which is okay, I guess, but it's not really going to help you. So in any case, that is what disease does. It is my favorite debuff in the game, disease and bleeds both. I used to love working with bleeds until disease came out, and then I just got obsessed with disease as well. So now I'm kind of happy that Nightmare Campaign will allow you to do it. The problem is in PvP, it's not so viable because it's a long-term play, and PvP matches tend to be relatively short. So in any case, that is the question from Adam. We will go over that with Dr. Zabaro, hopefully when I have him able to like get him on the phone. Now, next question comes from Stana Jalu Mihai. I have a sneaking suspicion this person's from my alliance. I didn't know why. If I am over 8k power on my roster, I got less and less points in PvP. Not as many 20-point battles. The reason for that is, and it's kind of, I think we've talked about this before, but the reason for that is just very simple. As you go up higher and higher in the game and have the power level of your tunes higher and higher in the game, then the fewer other players who have higher rosters than you, right? PvP is based on you fighting someone else's team that's in this pool of teams that you're going to be drawn from. There are more people who play in the beginning than play in the end or make it to those higher levels. Just a fact, just like, you know, university, there are going to be more freshmen than there are seniors, right? So, university, I've been in Europe too long. Jeez. So anyway, so just like that, as you go higher and higher in PvP, as your tunes get stronger and stronger and stronger, then they're not going to be as many. Maybe I should go take care of some of these bosses. There's not going to be as many people who are higher than you. So the point scale is based on the power level of what you're facing. The point scale is actually based on your high-end roster between the top 6 to 8 tunes. The same thing happens in Red Alerts. Then that average is what is used when it's facing another team's power level and their total. And that is how you end up with the scale in the on the PvP board. And so if you have higher level tunes and the average is higher for your tunes, then the points aren't going to be as much, because their thinking is, or the logic behind the algorithm is, well, you may only have 7 tunes at, or 8 tunes at 8,000, and the rest of them are at 2. However, you're strong enough. You got 4 in the match. So 32k, I'm not going to give you 6 points for beating a 30k team, even if you do it with a 15k team. So that is why you're not going to see as many 20-point matches as you go higher up. A lot of people have decided to just go, I think the sweet spot for this, in terms of the number of points you can get so you can compete in higher levels of Wraith, is actually just stopping at 60, is it 60, 10 and a half? No, 70, 10.5, I think, something like that. I know there's a half in there, and you can't do gear 11, so I think it's 70, 10.5, or 60, 10. In that area, you're kind of strong enough to face anything. If your roster is deep and has enough tunes, then you can basically battle anything that's going to come at you. And there you go. So now next question. This comes from Chillsta. What's up, Chill? What would you say is the best mystic to use early on or to try to obtain? So I'm going to lean towards the ones that are farmable. Let's just go with that first. Right now, the best farmable it's going to be kind of a combination. I'm going to say Cheetah 1 because her at lead is going to help you in PvP a lot, especially if you're facing a bunch of Martian Manhunter teams. I should probably take care of those raid bosses, especially if you're going to face a lot of Martian Manhunter teams. Cheetah can kind of put you on the equal side. Martian Manhunter is better, but Cheetah can help you at least level the playing field a bit. So Cheetah. Wonder Woman POT is great for early to mid game. She is viable in the end game. I've said that before. I love her. I think she's great. Early to mid game, she is great to have on your roster. End game, you're not going to use her as much. Star Sapphire, red alert, get her immediately. She's incredible. That is one that you want to have. In terms of speed farming, when you want to try to get through levels very quickly, if you're trying to get essence or whatever, Black Adam is great. He used to be amazing in PvP, but you know, he just got caught up. A bunch of tunes have caught up to him. Honestly, I feel like I should look through my roster real quick just to be safe. Off the top of my head, those are the ones that I can think of. Oh, Enchantress has an event coming up, and I've made an Enchantress video too, and I might touch on her again, but she's incredible. She has an event. It starts tomorrow. As of when I'm releasing this video, it starts tomorrow. Do it. Do it, do it. I'm going to go ahead and do it as well. And I think that I'll get enough frags from that to take her RB1. She's an incredible lead. Go ahead and grab her. She's so obnoxious when you have to face her. So those are the ones that I can say off the top of my head that you should go after. As a matter of fact, now that this battle's over, I'll go and look very, very quickly when I go to replay. Let's move me up. Boopity boop. Filter. Mystical. Confirm. Wonder Woman Coda isn't farmable. Yeah, that's POT. I'm only giving you the farmable ones because everything else you'd have to buy a pack for, and I'm just not really into advising people to buy packs. Donna Troy is in the Void Scanner, so I think she's good. She's been caught up to, but she's not bad at all. So I would say if you see her in the Void Scanner, save up your lanterns and then go after her. Swamp Thing is incredible in the mid game. I developed him too late. I should have moved him on sooner. Zatanna isn't bad early game. And if she got a rework, she'd be incredible. Like, they just need to make her heal and overheal and she'd be great. She's not bad. So yeah, I was right with the ones I just said before. So just stick with the ones I said before and you should be good. Next question. This is the one where I'm going to have to do that whole 2-hour video. Could you do, yeah, I'm going to do that's the 2-hour video I'm going to do. All right. Last question. Can you make a video on raid? And one more thing, how to spam level 100 raid bosses. Okay, so I can go back now. Now, this is what I've been doing in this video, basically, is I've been fishing for legendaries. I call it fishing. I don't know why. It sounds cooler to me. So I've been fishing for, let's go ahead and get out of here. Fishing for raid bosses. Do I have enough? Sitting at 13. All right, cool. So basically, here's how I fish for them. And the other issue is that you can't really aim for level 100. That's the problem. When I go to campaign, now what I've done is I buy those head start packs. That's my little frivolous spending for the month. And then I'll go into campaign. I go to normal, chapter 1, and then I just spam the hell out of the last node. It only costs 5 energy. There's no difference in drop rates whether you're spending 5 energy or 10 or 20. So then stick to 5. Some people like to do the 3x. I do the 1x because every once in a while I'll have the 2, 3, 4 in a row, and that's not going to happen if you're doing it with 3x. So the more efficient way in terms of fishing is to do it 1x. Takes more time, but that is what it is. Now, from what I've seen, whenever you, and I'll just go back here and do, whenever you fish, the higher you are, and this is just a observation for me, the higher that you are in terms of your player position means the higher, at least in the 3rd or 4th day, it feels as though the drop rate for the legendary bosses is higher. That's what I noticed in the last couple of raids, and I'm not sure that even holds true. However, aiming for level 100 raid bosses, there's no real way for you to do that. It doesn't matter if you're on heroic chapter 8 or normal chapter 1. It's the same drop rates for all of them. So just spam the hell out of the last node of chapter 1, and there you go. That's basically what I do for raid. And then when I go through, I try to keep count of how many I have, and then I'll load them all up. Just keep hitting fight later, load them all up. Then I'll just knock them out all in one, and then go back to fishing some more. So that's and a lot of times, if you want to, you can. What I typically do, and I've said this in another video, Dr. Zabaro disagree with me vehemently, is I will get those head start packs at the end of the night, because they only do it for the first day, right? I get them at the end of the night. I don't want to use them on day 1. I use the energy on day 2. His view was more like use the energy on day 3. And then I use gems to buy more blue energy. I never buy the raid energy. I use the gems to buy more blue energy on day 3. That's when I'm fishing and really like going at raid. And then the 4th day, I'll have some gems like right there waiting in case I need to buy some more energy. But if I want to do top 500, for example, I make sure by the time I go to sleep on day 3, I'm in top 500, like well into it, like 250, 200, like 150, somewhere in there. Because it inevitably, whenever I fall asleep, I always fall like another 150. So I make sure that I'm in top 500. And then for the rest of the day, I'm just doing what I can to maintain myself being in the top 200 to 300. So that way, when I go to sleep, again, I tend to fall 100. But if I fall 100 from 200, I'm still in the top 500. I still get that skin. I'm not going for the skin this time, this go around. I don't know. Just not. And I love Batman. Maybe I should go for it. Nah. But yeah, that is my approach to raid. So that will do it. Felt lonely doing this without Dr. Zabaro or Emperor Ging. Ugh, I need to get my alliance mates on. So hopefully next week, Riddle Me This will have my alliance mates. We will touch on these questions again next week. And then if you guys have any more questions, please put them in the comments below. Please like. Please subscribe. Thank you guys for watching all the way through, and I will see you next time.